In today's era, many people are discussing the role of superior midfielders like Xavi Iniesta Busquets, as well as Kroos Modric Casemiro. However, during the golden era of Italian football in the 2000s, there was a legendary trio from AC Milan: Pirlo, Gattuso, and Seedorf. They succeeded in their time, and it's no wonder they achieved many accomplishments while playing together. A terrifying trio with various identical role revolutions. It's interesting how some stories turned them into a terrifying trio back then. The trio of Pirlo, Gattuso, and Seedorf did not arrive at AC Milan at the same time. Gennaro Gattuso was the first to arrive at Milan in the 1999-2000 season from Salernitana. He was followed by Andrea Pirlo in the 2001-02 season from Inter Milan and Clarence Seedorf in the 2002-2003 season, also from Inter Milan. The three of them only met and experienced playing together at Milan starting from the 2002-2003 season. Different roles of Ancelotti. They were brought together by Carlo Ancelotti. The new coach of Italy arrived in Milan in November 2001 after replacing Fatih Terim, who was considered unsuccessful at the beginning of the 2001-2002 season. Ancelotti's arrival brought significant changes to AC Milan, including the roles of the trio Pirlo, Gattuso, Seedorf. He immediately made a revolutionary change in tactics. Ancelotti employs the diamond formation of 4-3-1-2 or 4-1-2-1-2. This diamond-like formation was successfully implemented by Ancelotti in the 2002-2003 season. Ancelotti needs one trequartista behind two strikers and three midfielders as the key to controlling the game. The combination of the midfield trio of Pirlo, Gattuso, and Seedorf, each with different roles, proved to be effective after being crafted by Ancelotti. Pirlo was surprisingly positioned as a deep-lying playmaker, meaning a playmaker whose position on the field is very deep, right in front of Milan's four defenders, similar to a pure defensive midfielder. He also positioned Gattuso and Seedorf on the right and left midfield to assist and support Pirlo's role on the field. The roles of the trio function when each of their roles is very distinctive and different. At that moment, the trio was known in Italy as Pirlo the Magician, Gattuso the Warrior, and Seedorf the Professor. Gattuso as the antagonist with tackles, physical play, and breaking the mental state of opposing strikers, while Ancelotti utilized Seedorf to move fluidly with his individual quality and extensive range in the opponent's defensive area. The successful trio combination crafted by Ancelotti was first tested in the Champions League qualifying matches of the 2002-2003 season, where Milan is visiting the club, Slovan Liberec. The debut trio of Pirlo, Gattuso, Seedorf was used in a diamond formation of 4-1-2-1-2 behind Rui Costa, Inzaghi, and Tomasson. The achievements of the AC Milan trio. Speaking of achievements, in their debut season in 2002-2003, the trio immediately won the Coppa Italia title with Ancelotti. They defeated AS Roma in the final with an aggregate score of 6-3. This was their first title after being formed as the midfield trio of Milan. The birth of the trio was also marked by the sweet story of clinching the Champions League title in the 2002-2003 season. AC Milan succeeded in winning the final against Juventus with a victory in the penalty shootout at Old Trafford. At that time, although one of the trio, Seedorf, failed to score in the penalty shootout, Milan still emerged as champions. Then, starting the next season in 2003-2004, they brought home the UEFA Super Cup title after defeating FC Porto 1-0. Gattuso's role at that time in disrupting the opponent's attacks through his tackles on Porto players kept AC Milan safe from conceding goals. During their journey in Serie A in the 2003-2004 season, the trio ultimately led AC Milan to become Serie A champions. In the following season of 2004-2005, this trio managed to bring home the Supercoppa Italia title at the beginning of the season after defeating the champions Lazio 3-0. However, the addition of the title that season for the trio of Pirlo, Gattuso, and Seedorf could not be continued. The reason is that they had to suffer a dramatic defeat in the Champions League final against Liverpool through a penalty shootout. At that time, Pirlo failed to execute the penalty in the shootout, even though he provided the assist for Milan's first goal through Maldini. Meanwhile, Gattuso performed poorly and fouled Gerrard, resulting in a penalty that allowed Liverpool to equalize at 3-3. In addition, in their domestic league, they also failed to become champions after only finishing as runners-up in Serie A behind Juventus. It was during the 2006-2007 season when Ancelotti changed his diamond formation to a Christmas tree-like formation of 4-3-2-1, where the role of the trio has shifted slightly. Seedorf pushed forward to support Riccardo Kaká behind a striker, either Inzaghi or Gilardino. Meanwhile, the midfield position left vacant by Seedorf was filled by Massimo Ambrosini. That formation was tried by Ancelotti during that season and proved to be successful. The success that bore the second Champions League title for the trio of Pirlo, Gattuso, Seedorf in their careers, after settling the score with Liverpool in the final with a score of 2-1, where Pirlo's role, in particular, was one of the reasons for Milan's first goal through his free-kick execution that Inzaghi converted into a goal. In the following season of 2007-2008, the trio of Pirlo, Gattuso, Seedorf delivered two more titles for AC Milan. One in the UEFA Super Cup and the other in the FIFA Club World Cup. And lastly, since Ancelotti left, the trio only won a title again during Max Allegri's tenure, specifically in the 2010-2011 season. At that time, despite the trio aging and often being rotated in Allegri's team, they at least brought a champion's mentality to the squad, resulting in their second Serie A title in Milan. That was their last title as a trio in Milan. Pirlo finally left in the 2011-2012 season to join Juventus. Meanwhile, Seedorf went to Botafogo and Gattuso to Schalke in the following season. Their era has ended, but the sweet story of their glorious period will always be remembered by the public of Milan and the world as one of the best midfield trios that has ever existed.